I remember my agent calling me and said, he says, hey, I got this show, this guy that you worked with a long time ago, Michael Jacobs. Oh. And he said, he really wants you in this role. I said, well, what kind of role is it? He says, well, it's to play this father on a show, and there's another father, and I said, wait, I don't want to play a father on a show. So I turned it down, right? So then the agent calls me up and says, you got to go in, just meet Michael, just sit down and meet him, So I go in that afternoon, and I meet Michael, who's great, Michael's energy, and he says, great, you got to do this, great. I said, well, when? He says, today. I said, today? He says, yeah, we're 3:30. I said, all right. So we go over and do the reading, and everybody says, okay. And I go back home. I said, okay, well, this is probably not really going to happen like this. And then that's the way it happened for me. So I was in. I was like, all of a sudden, I'm a father on a TV show raising a young girl who's 11 years old.
Well, this is home. This is where you get to grow up.
Oh, my God.
That pilot season, it was down to 3 pilots. And, when you are going to go to network, you can only go to network for one. You have to choose. And one of them was already picked up, actually, for 13, but we chose My Two Dads over that one. My mom and my sister and I, we sat down and we read the 3 scripts, and we decided to choose My Two Dads over the one that was picked up because we thought it was just better. We thought it was the best script. It turned out to be, it turned out to be the best, because the other one, it was on, but it was canceled after the first season. Right. Anyway, so then I did the pilot, but then the network didn't want me.
You mean when we were doing?
Yeah.
The whole?
You didn't know this?
No.
What?
Well, wait a minute. Well,
after,
backtrack.
Well, okay, so this is after we shoot the pilot. Oh, okay. The show gets picked up, and now they go, okay, we're going to pick up the show, but we need to recast that kid.
Oh.
So then
after we did the pilot?
Yeah. Because the network didn't want me, but Michael did, and Michael Jacobs is, you don't want to mess with him. They should have known that. They should have known they weren't going to win, because he was set on me, but they wanted somebody else. So They saw all these hundreds of people, and Michael just wouldn't back down, and they finally, just fine. They finally just went with me, and
see, they made the right choice.
Yeah. Ugh. This is what I do, huh? I made this. I mean, everything you see here, okay? Everything hanging up. Everything on the floor, I made.
Oh, you're an artist. You're poor. You have to live here.
This is not some puppy that you take home because it looks at you through a store window with a sad-eyed puppy face. Don't do that.
Paulie. I love Paulie. And we had a great rapport on the show. And he always had the respect to let me try whatever I wanted, and I always had the respect to let him try. So I think that's the first thing that you have to have in working with anybody is you've got to be able, it has to be that kind of relationship where you're willing to try things.
All right, 21 game, got to win by 2, and you can't use the furniture as a pick. Oh, hold on. I'm not ready. Okay, I'm ready.
We did a few scenes where we didn't really know what was going to happen. And, we followed the script, but then when we get to something that caught us both off guard, we would roll with it. That's what it's about right there. Because, we can all plan whatever we want to plan, but it's the things that you don't plan that are the most interesting.
Yeah, I loved Paul. I just idolized him. I just thought he was so funny.
Oh.
And so I loved him. I think I really wanted to sort of have an adopted dad because I didn't really have a dad at that point. And Greg was kind of already taken because he had 3 kids, including a baby. And I was just like, all right, well, forget it. This guy's kind of taken already. And Paul, meanwhile, wasn't, because he was just actually on the brink of getting married. He didn't have any kids. So I was like, all right, well, Greg can't adopt me, but Paul can.
Come on, you look more like me than Paul.
I look like Paul too, though. I mean, casting-wise, it really could go either way.
So you're saying somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle.
Paul would take me to movies sometimes, or just that kind of stuff, especially in the beginning.
Paul used to take you to movies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I think Michael Jacobs, the producer, I think was worried about Paul and I having a believable parent-child relationship because Paul didn't have kids, and I don't think he was worried about that with you.
I would have taken you to movies.
Well, I know you would have, but I think you sort of had that natural paternal thing already, and I think Michael was worried that Paul didn't really know what that relationship was like because I don't think he had any young people in his life, nieces or nephews or kids or anything like that.
Any woman I love has to love you too. We're a set.
Hi, Judge.
Hi, sweetie. This is the child. This is the child's smile. If she ever answers the door without it, call me.
The thing about Florence was that if she loved you, which she did on the set, she was your fan. She stuck by you. She'd kill for you, and I felt the same about her.
She always used to feel bad for me when I was crying on the show, so she would always say, "It's good for your sinuses," or "It's good for your something." I don't know. She would try to, make me feel better.
Yeah. I loved when she was around. I loved her performance herself. I mean, she really knew how to deliver a line. She could deliver a line and just kill you at the slowest pace, and then boom, she knew where the laugh was. She always got the laugh,
Good morning, honey. You know what's great about you, Klawicki? You played professional football, you run a diner that's open all night, and still you find time to know nothing about kids.
I try to keep busy.
Dick, he was like a big bear. He walked he did, you could tell that all those years of football had impacted his body, and he always wore Birkenstocks to sort of, for his feet, but I really liked him. He's just very shy and very quiet, which is a great contrast to the look of him because he's so, big and imposing and has such a presence, but he's very funny.
Even though with the limited amount that he had, because he was stuck in Klawicki's, so he really didn't, he was behind that bar, so he had to come up with things that suit the bar and try to get as many laughs as you can.
You bring it to the kid. She looks at it. She smiles. You tell her it's from me. She knows she's loved.
Gotcha. Here you go, kid. Enjoy.
That's so sweet. You made this for me, Mr. Klawicki?
Yeah.
And I didn't really know about his whole football career. I mean, I knew about it, but I didn't really know the substance of it until I got to see that footage, and I could not believe it. I couldn't believe that this, because I knew him as this like gentle, shy, quiet, person, and then just seeing him just completely obliterate these people in just extremely violent fashion. But it actually, I was like, I think I like football now. I mean, if this is what it's like, then I'm into it.
Nice pass.
Listen, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic was murder.
Giovanni Ribisi, Giovanni
Ribisi, who did really well.
He always had a guitar. He walked around with a guitar.
So you remember that because you were 11.
It was glued to him.
Yeah.
So he always was playing the guitar, and we'd be sitting with our teacher in the schoolroom, and she'd be like, "Okay, Bonnie, are you gonna, do some math? Are you gonna write something?
I'm doing math.
Are you gonna read something?" And he literally would not put the guitar. I mean, he would be sitting there reading, playing the guitar. He'd be walking down the hall playing the guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
See, now,
I mean,
I don't
they would have
remember
to
that.
kind of like physically extract it from him for him to rehearse the scene.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I figure he must be a great guitar player now.
He must
I don't know.
be.
I haven't talked to him in years, but.
I don't know. Did you hang out with any of those guys on the off time?
Not so much. I mean, we would see each other at parties and stuff also.
You were kind of a
you're
recluse.
saying. No, come on. And Amy Hathaway. But, we were at work so much. I don't think we needed to hang. There wasn't much time outside of, like, when were we going to hang out at 4 o'clock in the morning? We were together
That's true.
all day and night, every day,
Yeah, it was a
for all
long
those-
process. It was that was our life, really. Our life is being when you're doing a show like that, that becomes your life. So
and you're tight. I mean, you can't help but be tight. I mean, I guess it's like any job when you're working those kind of hours with people every day.
And hopefully you are
doing
tight because if
something-
you're not tight, it's a miserable
Well,
situation.
yeah, and it wasn't an easy show.
Yeah.
Some shows are just kind of happy-go-lucky, and they just sort of spring into the world. And this show wasn't like that. Every
See, it wasn't like that, huh?
no,
See, you had a whole different thing. With
you
that.
didn't. Weren't you there?
Yeah, but it was. I was there.
But even the stuff you're talking about, like reworking it all the time.
But that's
I mean,
fun.
all shows rewrite. I mean, that's standard.
Right.
But this was. I mean, this was crazy rewrites. I mean, working subsequent to that, I don't think I've seen
Really?
that
Okay.
level.
See, I thought that's the way it
12
always was.
rewrites, 13 rewrites, where they're running out of colors for the pages,
Oh, yeah, right.
Every rewrite is on a
Goldenrod.
new shade of there's
Super
no more
goldenrod.
colors left in the rainbow
Right.
for the rewrite
Yeah,
that we're
right.
on now. And
See, I thought that's the way it is with situation comedies because,
No, I think you guys kind of had a hard time.
I was not. I never took it to heart that it was anything, that. I mean, I always
Personal.
looked at it that how are we going to do comedy and have fun and do this if we can't have fun?
Not all art is a bowl of fruit. Look at this, come on. Before awareness. That's brilliant. That is truly brilliant.
You're saying that Nicole's blank piece of paper is brilliant?
Yes, yes, he is. Tell him why. Go, Dad.
I guess working with the same actors over and over again, I started to, because I didn't have any technique. I was just a kid kind of walking around, talking, saying lines.
Right.
And then you guys, you were real actors, you had technique. And, I mean, Paul is a comedian, and I think, I didn't get to see how he worked as much. But with you, you were a real actor, and I would always watch the things that you would do. Like you wouldn't eat dinner. Greg would always have a little fruit thing. He would have like watermelon for dinner because he would say like, I don't want to get, he's got all this energy. Like I don't want to get bogged down. I can't have all this blood, going to my gut. I gotta be light. I gotta be fast on my feet. I gotta just have, I'm making you sound like Mr. T, but just have some watermelon, and just I don't know, just even little stuff like that. So then I started. That was I think the first time I really saw, witnessed the technique of acting or how real adult actors.
How important food
work.
and acting. Really, the balance between
Well, that's just one
diet and
example,
acting.
but I'm saying
No,
just how
but I
you
love that
worked,
because that's a big thing because I always remember that. It's like if a runner wouldn't go and eat a giant meal before they go run a race. An actor wouldn't, shouldn't go out and eat a full gourmet meal and then go try to, have the same kind of energy because it's actually a physical thing that happens to you. That was a very big thing with me, honestly. It was. I mean, because we always had food around, right? There's food everywhere. You could just eat all day long. You can gain 30 pounds on a set.
Oh, easily.
Easy.
Yeah, but you always had total energy, commitment. You never gave up on it or got frustrated or decided to phone it in. That's a good thing to see when you're that age.
Thanks, Dave.
To see that.
I'm glad I was a good father figure for you.
You really were. You really truly were. I don't think you know how much.
Okay, now, the only thing between you is the armrest. Now, this is where the battle is won or lost. Now, he can't go under it, he can't go through it. He's got to come at you airborne. Hence the term shooting him down.
It was still a time when, 30 million people would regularly watch a sitcom.
Right.
So,
I think we used to get a 28 to 30 share a week. Now, I mean, if you get that now, it's insane. Anywhere I went, I would get recognized from either that or that trucking guy with the chimpanzee. How about you?
outside of Los Angeles, people are more likely to say something. In LA, people don't care, and
Yeah, they don't say as much.
they're, but if you went, anywhere else in the country, we would go back east where we're from. We would go down the shore in Jersey, for example, and, Greg's from Jersey.
I'm from Jersey too. Hey.
So, and if
Jersey
there was a
Shore.
lot of kids, if you went to Magic Mountain or something, a place where a lot of kids were, they would always, come and say hi. And my mom thought, this is so great, and, these people want to say hi to you. And I mean, all
Mom
that
had
was
the pictures in the pen ready.
totally. But I was just like, God, I don't
Well,
know. I don't know what to do.
I mean, you were 11, 12, 13, okay?
Yeah.
How would you know what to do?
I don't know.
I mean, how would
And I
anybody
didn't.
that's that age know how to handle that?
I
That's
did
what I was
not
talking
know
about
what to
before. It's
do.
like, I don't know how anybody who's that age can handle that kind of success. It's crazy.
It's weird.
It's
It's
kinda
definitely
weird.
weird. You just
Yeah.
not used to it, and then I don't know. You need to be gracious and appreciative. These people are the reason why you have a job, and yet you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation.
But they were
And
there.
It still is, actually.
They were there, yeah.
If you meet,
Right, because you look exactly the
So-
same. So when you still walk down the street, they got to say,
I always think that's weird when people recognize me. I'm like, God, that was so long ago. How can you? I don't know. I don't know how they make the connection, but
yeah, because you look exactly the same.
no, you truly look
no,
exactly the
you.
same. No, you really look exactly the same.
I love it. I love being a father. Yeah, I love being a father, too.
Every morning.
To me, honestly, it was it was one of the best times I ever had working in my life. I know you don't feel that way sometimes because it was a little more pressure.
I did, yeah. I was pretty stressed out at the time, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
We came to work every day and we figured out how to make people laugh harder and harder and harder. By Tuesday, hopefully the hardest they'd laugh. And the family situation that we had with you, working with you and Paul and Michael and Bob Meyer and all those guys, I had the best time, one of the best times I've ever had working on a show. And you know, see now I wore this jacket because this is one of the original Joey Harris jackets. Just happened to be in my closet.
Just happened to be.
Just happened to be. So I thought this morning, you know, I'd wear it.
But Greg is not wearing his bicycle shorts today, which he used to wear to the set all the time. His bicycle shorts.
My bicycle shorts and my fanny pack. Oh
well,
my God.
No, but the bicycle shorts, the high tops.
That's right.
With socks and a t-shirt.
That's right. The high tops.
That was like your uniform.
Well, you look great, man. That's all I could say. You grew up nice.
Thanks, Greg.